Hello guys, welcome back to another Clash Royale episode, and in today's video I am gonna introduce this Megaknight Royal Hogs deck. It's been popular in the past, I think a few months ago. It kind of died out over the Bob Hut meta, the RG meta, and now it's back again. So this deck is actually effectively a Fireball bait deck. So we have the Royal Hogs, we have the Zappies, we have the Flying Machine. So you need to be able to know, like, if your opponent has Fireball, what can you do and what can you not do, especially when they have Fireball. Do not go in with Royal Hogs Flying Machine, because that's a very huge negative trait for you. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the first replay. Okay, so first replay over here, we're playing against a Balloon Freeze deck. So this deck starting play, same, you could split Zappies, you could cycle the Ghosts, you could go Royal Hogs first play also, it's not really a big deal. Okay, so he played the Muskie, so we cycle the Ghost into it, so that should be a good opening for us, and then now we can see what he's gonna do. So yeah, I would prefer to cycle Zappies instead of the Flying Machine. So it depends on what he wants to do here. We try to protect the Zappies over here, because we wanted to see what his ground units was. He didn't have the Lumberjack over there, so we had to play the Cage, and it's looking okay. So we're going aggressive here with the Flying Machine to snipe the building, and it's looking for a good trade for us here, going off aggressive at the start. Goes with the Snowball, doesn't get the Flying Machine. Flying Machine gets very good shots over here. And the Musketeer cleans up, but look at the Elixir, we are not down at all, and we can clean up this Musketeer with just one bar barrel. Alright, so we're still in the Elixir lead, and we took 1,400 damage off his tower. So looking good over here, again, and now we know that he doesn't have Cage, so we're gonna cycle the Royal Hogs at the bridge. We're gonna face a counter push, but again, it's not too big of a problem. So we are ready, depending on what he has. Usually with Lumberjack, they usually have balloons, so we are ready. We go in with the Zappies and then the Fireball, and we clean up pretty okay. Okay, that damage gets all of that, but not a problem. So now we are about down a little bit in Elixir, but nice damage on his tower. Okay, so now we most probably know usually balloon you run freeze if you're not running the minor cycle. So we are very wary of that freeze. But again, we're still looking good. We know we can defend. If they're running freeze, they don't have a big spell. So usually they also only have one ground tank, which is the Lumberjack. So we are also trying to keep an eye out for that when we can Megaknight, when the Lumberjack is not in cycle. Alright, so over here you can see he goes with the Baby D. We just go with a barrel, just to clean that out. And then we clean this up pretty okay. So this is what we're doing here. We'll go with the Royal Hogs, we'll wait for the Cage. And now we go with the Fireball. We wanted the Cage to pop before the Fireball came in. Unfortunately, the Fireball was just 1 second too early. But now the Musketeer down is gonna be cleaned up by the Flying Machine. Again, he comes in with that. So we gotta make sure our Zappies are there. He doesn't have a freeze because he already used it on defense, so that's gonna be fine for me to deal with. So the more he freezes on defense, the easier I will have to defend the balloon. The easier time I will have to defend the balloon. Okay, so this time again he goes in with that. This time we still looking for the Fireball. But we decided to play it safe, because we know that we might need to Fireball the balloon on defense if he decides to freeze. Because we have such a nice lead, we are not gonna Fireball on offense. Alright, so you see over there, we save the Fireball for defense instead, especially against balloon freeze. You gotta be careful. And now we're looking good right now. Just 500 more HP, we just need a little bit. Okay, we already know he has a freeze, so we don't want to give him too much of a freeze value. So we're just cycling it. We're not gonna put the Royal Hogs in, because we are expecting a freeze. So we have the Royal Hog selected, but I decided not to go in until I see the freeze. So he doesn't play the freeze, so I don't go in with that. Zappies go, that's it. Megaknight jumps, we got it. Because if you play like you give him too much value on the freeze, he can clean up. Of course he was down a lot of Elixir at that point, but generally against freeze decks, you don't want them to freeze all your troops at once. Because if they have Elixir, they can freeze and then DPS down all your units. Alright, so wait for the freeze before you play anything, especially on defense also. Try to spread out your troops so that they can't freeze anything. Of course, if they already freeze on their defense, then on your defense, it's gonna be a pretty easy defense. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next replay. Okay, so in this replay, we are facing a very old school Royal Giant Skeleton deck with no big or small spell at all, which was played by Little Chen, I believe, first in one of the Wolf Finals. So this is a very old school deck. So the most irritating thing in this deck, of course, is the Firecracker. When you don't have arrows, Firecracker is a real pain to deal with. So if you can, then just Fireball it if you have to. Or if you have poison or whatever, just spell it if there is nothing else to spell in the deck. So we are cycling over here the ghosts into that firecracker because we know how irritating it can be. So thankfully he doesn't protect it. And we just basically cycling to feel what he's actually playing. Alright, so it looks like it's a problem right now because of the GS. We don't really have too much, so we have to play a Megaknight. Then here comes the bats. I decided to fireball that because I don't... The flying machine or whatever is gonna take like forever to clean out 5 bats. So it's still the same elixir cost, so we decided to just go in with the fireball. Okay, so again the firecracker is getting irritating, but of course thankfully it went on the other side, so that was the healthier tower. So over here we always want to try to activate King, especially when they are playing bait decks. So sometimes the King Tower can help you to clean up some of the Goblin Barrels that you missed. Okay, Flying Machine, he lets it go, so it was the healthier tower. So over here was gonna be a huge problem here. So we had to play Zappies. This is where the King Tower comes in. The King Tower helps to DPS down the RG a little bit, but we still take a ton of damage here because of the Hunter, the Bats. So this deck doesn't do well with Bats because you don't have a Snowball or a Zap to deal with it. You gotta use your Zappies, your Flying Machine, sometimes even your Fireball. Alright, so he's comfortable taking damage from the Royal Ghost from our counter push, but of course overall he's still up over there. You can see I don't want to deal with the Firecracker, so we go with the Fireball there. We have to fireball a lot of other stuff because we know that this deck has Kami, he has Hunter, Bats. But if we are not attacking, we can use that fireball over there. So he cycles in the back, we decide to go with the same, no need to try anything funny at this point. I just gotta be careful of that barrel. He doesn't go with the RG thankfully, he goes with the barrel. So we go with the high Zappies for the Bats and then we use the barrel for his barrel and we are good. If he went in with RG, I think he would have gotten a lot more damage there. So we go with the Royal Hogs, we are waiting for his Skami. No Skami comes in, we just fireball that instead. He goes with the arrows, cleans up pretty okay. Then this is the next big counter push that is coming. Alright, he decides to go in with another barrel, which I don't really have the right responses at the time, so I had to cycle. And thankfully we got it. Alright, so now again we are gonna go in of our own. We know that he has Skami, so we're gonna go with the Hogs, we're gonna go with the prediction fireball here. We're not going for the Firecracker this time, we're gonna make sure we get that Skami, because the Skami is the only thing that's gonna clean that up. So here we try to pull it away, just try to deep damage this down, make sure we get the barrel for the barrel, because at this point, the only thing that's gonna kill us is that barrel. Nothing else is gonna kill. The RG doesn't get too many hits once we have all the defenses right up. Alright, so over that, got the Powerball at the end. Got the win. Alright, so you gotta be careful. Make sure that you have the right defenses. And if you know that he has Skami is it's hard to deal with. You have to go with a prediction fireball. Because if he goes with a very low Skami, the buff barrel doesn't reach. So that's when you gotta go with the prediction fireball to make sure your Royal Hogs get in. If not, you could do a split lane push. Because split lane Skami doesn't do as much. Because sometimes the way that they split the Skami is one goes more to the other lane. So that's the best way you can do it if you can't deal with the Scum. Of course, if you have a Megaknight in front, it goes in front, that will be better, but sometimes you have to go with that prediction fireball. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the last replay. Okay, last replay here against Lockbait. So this is one of the best matchups, technically, for this deck. Because the problem with the Lockbait deck is they are running Rocket, so they can't really deal with your Zappies, your Flying Machine especially. The Flying Machine is a problem for your deck, for their deck. Alright, so we're going with the Fireball on the Princess. We have the barrel for their barrel, so not really a big issue here. He goes in with the Knight, and that's very aggressive. I had to say for the Mega Knight, if not it will get a lot more ugly. So we deal with that. Positive trade for our 7 for 6, and we get a counter push, and then overkill. We still baited out the Inferno, so that Mega Knight effectively got us a lot of elixir. Okay, so I would say against Lockbait, what you want to do is usually a split lane push, because if you put everything in one lane, he can actually defend. Whether with the Princess Log, with the Rocket and stuff like that. Usually you want to split lane and try to abuse the Flying Machine. It's a good matchup only if you abuse your Flying Machine, because he technically doesn't have the best response. So you want to be fireballing princesses. You want to be fireballing those princesses whenever you can. Because the princesses staying on the field is not good for you at all. So that's what you want to do. So over here I played the barrel first, and then I had to play the ghost, so we took more damage on the right, but as you can see we did damage on the left. So not really a big issue. We are down on elixir, but we have a ghost on the field, so that's about gonna even it up. He's gonna take the damage here, I believe. Okay, he plays the go. He plays that. That's good because it doesn't surround that well. And then he goes with the very aggressive princess at the bridge, which is, I would say, an okay play because if he plays it at the back, we're gonna fireball it anyway. Then he blocks with the knight. Okay, so now we basically know that we have to save barrel for barrel, but he is always gonna outcycle you. So don't be afraid to fireball the barrel if you have to, and then try to flying machine the princess when you can. Okay, so we're about even elixir. You see here, I have no responses. Megaknight's gonna be okay if he plays the side barrel. But we don't want to take the risk, we go with the fireball. Alright, so double elixir is when you can keep up the pressure. Try not to go everything in the same lane because he can rocket it. Unless you know he doesn't have enough elixir for the rocket, then you can do that. So again, we want to try to protect the Megaknight. Megaknight's gonna do good utility on our side here, so we send the Hogs. The Inferno Tower is gonna take a long time to clean out those Hogs, so again we go with the flying machine in the middle. Once that's done, he plays the second knight and that's all good. So flying machine would be able to clean up a bunch of stuff. Again, we don't fireball the princess immediately because we know that he is gonna outcycle us and we have to have something for that barrel. The ghost over here, unfortunately, not in the best spot, so we took a few damage from the spear goblins. But again, no problem. Again, with the fisherman, we always try to hook the princess. And then we go with this split lane push again. Okay, so we go with the flying machine on one side, trying to get some extra damage. It goes with the high gang, and then again we fireball those princesses. Alright, flying machine locks on. One shot, two shots, that's great. Again, now we know we can afford to cycle. We're just basically cycling, make sure we have the defenses, whether fireball or barrel for his goblin barrel. So once you have that, you're gonna be safe. Say princess as high again this time. We want to snipe the princess, so we go with flying machine in the middle. Yeah, we're basically always trying to split lane push. If you go in a single lane, it's easier for him to defend. He goes with the barrel again. He outcycled us, so we have to fireball, not a problem. Don't be afraid to use your fireball on the barrel. So it's getting close because he has rocket and cycle. So this time we're gonna keep up the pressure here. We're gonna go with the fisherman to hook tonight. We're gonna go, I think, Royal Hogs later. He played the log, he goes there, he goes with the barrel. We go with our barrel first, just to be safe and make sure that we have it back in cycle. Again, fireball on the princesses. The more fireballs we get on the weaker tower, the better for us. Flying machine gets another shot. You can see throughout the game, the flying machine is so irritating for him to deal with. This time we go all in the same lane. He goes with his barrel. We get it in time. He misses the rocket here. He only gets two. That's gonna give us some damage there, but he blocks to prevent the additional damage. So over here, no problem. Towards the end, 30 seconds left. We decide to go in with the fireball. Princesses are stacking up, but it's because it's towards the end of the game. So we have no problem taking those princesses now. Like 20 seconds left, even if it's princess on the left side, that's pretty fine. So again, we're going with the aggressive fireball, I believe. Yep. And then this one, we didn't get the right side, but that's fine. Rocket doesn't kill us, we just need a little bit of damage at the end, and that's it. Right, so I hope you guys like this series. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.